Georgia Performance Standard MM1A2e, factoring expressions. Specifically today we'll be factoring polynomials. To refresh your memory, this is a trinomial, x squared plus 2x plus 1. Trinomial, there are 3 terms in that expression. When factored, the factors become the quantity x plus 1 times the quantity x plus 1. Let's confirm for ourselves that these are indeed the factors. Definition of factor: these 2 terms multiply together to equal the original expression. As many of you know in my class, I'm a big fan of the area model method, multiplying polynomials x plus 1, x plus 1. Let's do some multiplying. X squared plus 1x plus 1x plus 1. The like terms are located here on the diagonal. Let's add those together and write the final expression. X squared plus 2x, combining my like terms, plus 1. Indeed, these are the factors of x squared plus 2x plus 1, as we confirmed here with multiplication. Let's look at an example on how we can use a particular technique. I like to call it the X method, in order to factor a trinomial. Here's an example for us. Our goal is to find 2 numbers whose sum is 4 and product is 3. So where do I get this name, the X method? There you go. Okay, so start out up top. Let's write the number in green. This is always going to be the center term of the trinomial, the x term. And at the bottom, I want you to write the constant term, 3. We want to find 2 numbers that add to be 4 and multiply to be 3. Well, when I factor 3, the only factors I know of here are 3 and 1. So put these in, 3 and 1. Indeed, 3 and 1 add to be 4 and multiply to be 3. These 2 numbers become the factors in this way. X, this is a positive 3, plus 3 is one factor. And x, this is a positive 1, plus 1, the second factor. X plus 3 times x plus 1. Let's look at one other example here. Slightly larger numbers, x squared plus 10x plus 24. This time we want to find 2 numbers whose sum is 10 and product is 24. Let's go for it. Bringing in our x, place the 10 up here, and the 24 at the bottom. And to repeat my previous explanation, we want 2 numbers that add to be 10 and multiply to be 24. Okay, this one's not so trivial, so let's factor 24. Okay, one factor I'll start with, 24 and 1. Or 12 and 2. 8 and 3. 6 and 4. And I believe I've hit all the factors of 24. Before I write any numbers down here And here, let's look for a list. Let's look for a pair that add to be 10. 24 and 1? No. 12 and 2? No. 8 and 3? No. 6 and 4. There's my magic pair. 6 and 4. Again, take the numbers I've written in white and let's create an x plus 6 factor and an x plus 4 factor. The factors of x squared plus 10x plus 24 are x plus 6 and x plus 4. I have one final example. Let's get tricky and try one with some subtraction in it. We need to find two numbers whose sum is negative 8 and whose product is positive 15. Let's bring in my x and fill in the values. Begin with the negative 8 up here, negative 8, and at the bottom, 15. Okay, one final time, we need numbers that add to be negative 8 and multiply to be 15. To help us out here, let's factor 15. 15 and 1, 5 and 3, and I believe I've hit them all. Let's look for the pair that add to be negative 8. Neither of these add to be negative 8. So let's get a little more creative and recall that we can also multiply to get a positive 15 if both these numbers are negative. So rescanning the list again, negative 15 minus 1, no, that's negative 16. Negative 5 minus 3, yes, negative 5 and negative 3. Your factors are x, bring down the negative sign, minus 5, and x, bring down the negative sign, minus 3. Okay, it's your turn. I've created 4 practice problems for you. I'd like you to use the same X technique I've shown you and solve these 4 problems. Please pause the video now in order to solve the problems. Press play when you're ready to check your solutions. Okay, for the quick check, let me bring in the solutions. Solutions to these 4 factored trinomials are shown here. And now let's solve these. Okay, number 1, x squared plus 4x plus 3. Begin by putting the 4 here and the 3 here. I need two numbers that add to be 4 and multiply to be 3. Three factors into a 3 and a 1. Placing a 3 and a 1 here, we see that our answer is x plus 3, x plus 1. These are the factors. Moving on to question 2. Plus 6 minus 7. add to be 6 and multiply to be -7. Now, just to help organize myself, 7. -7 factors into -7 and a +1, or 7 and a -1. I need to add to be a +6, so that's going to be this 7 and -1. Writing our factors, x plus 7, x minus 1. The third question, x squared minus 10x plus 16, -10, 16. Okay, help me out here. Let's factor 16. Let's see, I get 16 and 1, 8, 2, 4, and 4. Because this answer is positive, I know that the signs on the two numbers must match. So either the two numbers are positive or they're both negative. I want a sum of -10. Now the only way I'm going to add up to get into the negative territory is if both these numbers are negative. 16 and 1, there's no way I can add to be a 10, so we'll cross that out. 8 and 2, there's my pair. So we'll put a -8 and a -2. The solution is x minus 8, x minus 2. And the final problem. There's no coefficient written here. Recall that that means a 1. There's a negative sign, -1. And the constant term is a -12. Factoring -12, let's see, I have a 12 and a 1, a 6 and a 2, or a 3 and a 4. Because this sign is negative, I know that one of these two numbers must also be negative. I need them to have a difference of just 1. That's not this guy. It's also not this guy. Here's my pair. One of the numbers needs to be negative, one is positive, the sum is negative, so we'll put the negative sign on the larger. The answer here, or the factors, are going to be x minus 4 times x plus 3. Thank you for watching and learning with me today, factoring trinomials. Georgia Performance Standard MM1A2e.